Paulo Josue, pusingannya cuba dilakukan. Romel Morales. Oh! Goal to Malaysia!
Yeah, so it's been a while since I talked about the Malaysian men's national football team. Of course, if you recall, I did a couple of videos about them, which actually did really, really well. There was, of course, the World Cup qualifier late last year when Malaysia came from 3-1 down to beat Kyrgyzstan 4-3. And then they beat Chinese Taipei. At that point, Malaysian football had never been running on such a high. Of course, there was the Asian Cup to come in at the start of the new year. First AFC Asian Cup that Malaysia had qualified for in merit. Did a bit of coverage on that, and then there was that streamed Malaysia's first games against Jordan, which turned out to be a bit of an embarrassment. And then of course I sort of we did a sort of like a reaction video to the Malaysia's epic 3-3 draw with Korea, which ultimately cost Jurgen Klinsmann's job. And I guess it's good to kind of recap what happened then, because it is a while ago, and a lot has happened with Malaysian football since then, and particularly as Malaysia is about to take on New Zealand in a friendly, which I wish it was in Wellington. If it was in Wellington, I'd definitely be going to that 100%. But it is being played at QBE Stadium in Albany. That is the second of the All Whites games in this international window. But yeah, so I guess, for a lot of news, I guess I'm making this video not just for any of my Malaysian football fans who are still following me, but also for New Zealand football fans who probably have absolutely no idea about this Malaysian team and why we're playing them. So yeah, look, I guess if you're a Malaysian football fan, a lot has happened and you probably would have known about it. Although, yeah, I guess if you're in New Zealand living here, it is very easy to overlook it. And I certainly, have to admit I missed it because, let's be honest, why would New Zealand media cover football minnows on Malaysia? Look, so after that AFC Asian Cup, things kind of went a bit sour for Malaysia. They've missed out on progressing to the next round of qualifying for the World Cup. Fortunately, they had those two legs against Oman, which they lost, and Kyrgyzstan came back, and results just didn't come out, and Malaysia were eliminated again. Not long after that, their Korean coach Kim Pang-on resigned due to personal issues, ultimately becoming, as it transpired, he was to become coach back in his home country of Ulsan FC, one of the K-League clubs. And so with Malaysia currently doesn't have a full-time coach. There is a caretaker coach. His name is Pau Vicente Marti. He was actually assistant to Kim Pang-on. If you do look up his history on transfer market, he does have a rather good pedigree. He's actually been involved with the Barcelona under 18 and Barcelona B. Even had a bit of a stint with Adelaide United. Certainly a bit of he's Spanish, of course. He's been involved with Barcelona, and it looks like as it's transpired, he's sort of tried to make this while he's been charged. He's tried to make Malaysia a bit more attacking. Not that they've already been doing that under Kim Pang-on. They've gone for it. He's got his preferred formations of 4-3-3. This is according to Transfer Market. I'd say limited experience, and look, so far, results have been okay. It's hard to see what they'll do in the future, but I mean, mind you, so I guess this game against New Zealand Albany does shape up to be quite possibly his biggest like a job interview for the full-time job. Look, I guess that would certainly be the biggest job that Pau Marti has ever had in his brief coaching career. Of course, he's 41, so he's still reasonably young. I guess, I know the Brighton managers kind of, likes of Will Stirl, they've kind of brought the averages down in some coaches, but Pau Marti is still relatively new as a coach. So that is the football coach. I guess New Zealand, of course, got Darren Baisley. Still, I think he is still reasonably new in the coach, but so in the job so far, results have been good. I mean, what do you expect? It's Tahiti. They of course, New Zealand played Tahiti in Port Vila. Not the most convincing win, but it was, they got the 3-0 win. They were comfortably superior to Tahiti and got their OFC qualification underway. Of course, just to recap, with this expanded World Cup, Oceania gets 1.5 spots. So effectively, whoever finishes top will go to the World Cup. So effectively, I mean, no disrespect to the other nations in the OFC, but New Zealand's pretty much got their ticket booked for the World Cup in North America. And I guess, amazingly, if someone like Tahiti or Solomon Islands could, advance to a playoff, and I guess, anything could really, they will advance to a playoff against another continental rival. And we'll just see what happens there. But certainly, look, both sides clearly with their coaches still in transition. So this is going to be quite an intriguing friendly. I'm not sure it's going to be the prettiest game to watch. Hardly any of these international friendlies are, but I'll certainly try to watch it. It is at 7 p.m. and I did say I was trying to live stream it, so hopefully we might be able to watch it from kickoff. We might see the anthems, might see it. So we're just going to have to be flexible. But let's talk about enough of that. Let's talk about the players. So this Malaysian national team has sort of been characterized, and I guess quite controversially, by the selection of sort of like these matsale, or what that's sort of like a Malaya colloquialism for Europeans, or part European Malaysia. I mean, take for instance Dion Coles. I guess, he's harshly kind of put in that category of someone, these foreigners who've gotten Malaysian caps. He played for the Belgium academy team, but Dion Coles does have some Malaysian heritage, so, and of course he was never going to get into a Belgium's team that was stacked, with the likes of Jeremy Doku, Kevin De Bruyne, etc. So Dion Coles decided to use his Malaysian mother's roots and represent Malaysia. He is the captain, but he is unfortunately not available due to personal reasons, so he's not boarded a flight. So another of these so-called foreigners, Matthew Davis, he's Australian, he's expected to captain the side. But look, I guess, I guess I'm from Malaysia, and look, it is 2024. Lots of Europeans, Malaysians have traveled overseas. They might have met someone and fallen in love, got married with someone in Europe. They might have settled in Europe. They might have gone to Malaysia. What's a Malay? I don't think you can. A Malaysian, strictly Malay, Chinese, or Indian as the 3 biggest races, and and there's so much intermarriage. Like if the point is, if they've got Malaysian roots, they've got the family links, they want to play for Malaysia, then who's to say no? We've got and I guess, look, Matthew, to be honest, Dion Coles is not, he's probably the most Malaysian out of these foreigners. You look at someone like Matthew Davis, you look at Paulo Jose, Endrick. There's a lot of others who, Brazilians, Portuguese, who've naturalized Malaysians who, have absolutely no, they've come to Malaysia to pursue their dreams as a professional footballer. And then Ezekiel Aguero, of course, yes, there is an Aguero there. They want to play for Malaysia, that's fine. And and then to be fair to those guys have become Malaysian citizens, which is not an easy thing to do, because you can only, if you have Malaysian citizenship, that's the only citizenship you can have. So it's a great sacrifice, and look, they certainly won. And it's a tribute to Malaysia that it's they love the lifestyle and all that, so good on them. So Matthew Davis, I think Matthew Davis is captain, but look, there is a lot of, there is, talent there, the so-called homegrown talent is there. You've got the goalkeeper, Shihan Hasmi, who was one of the key stars for Malaysia at the AFC Asian Cup. He continues to be really consistent, although he's not wearing the number 1 jersey for some bizarre reason. That's Azri Ghani. He's sort of up and coming from the goalkeeper of Kuala Lumpur City. You've got Daniel Ting, who's got a lot of experience. Dominic Tan, Lever, Corbin Ong, who I thought who plays for top side Johor Darul Taksim. He's probably one of the most talented, plays out on the back. And midfielder Stuart Wilkin, another naturalized Malaysian. Paulo Josu, of Kuala Lumpur City, up front, and another up front, I guess Darren Lock, he's been around for ages, and of course, Morel Morales, who was the hero for Malaysia, who, when he grabbed that equalizing goal against Korea late on, which, so he's firmly ensconced in Malaysian football folklore. So I think if you look, I guess Morales, I guess it remains to be seen what happens in training. I guess obviously we're moving. I haven't watched Malaysia since the AFC Asian Cup, of course, because there's barely any coverage of Malaysia, if any. So we are certainly looking at completely different lineup, different tactics. It's safe to say, look, I think we need to be attacking, because let's be honest, defending is not exactly our greatest suit. So we're really having to deep into that. But so it will certainly be interesting to see. I think expect Malaysia to be very attacking. They will. I think they've got nothing to lose. There's no more World Cup to consider. The AFC Asian Cups in history. It's just really a rebuilding period, trying to find players and trying to, of course, identify who the permanent coach is going to be to take them to the next AFC Asian Cup and the next World Cup in 2030. So I guess it's just really currently identifying the next generation of Malaysian players. And look, to be fair, Malaysian football has always been sort of about attacking football. And I think if you recall, of course, New Zealand, I recall when Malaysia last played New Zealand. That was back in 2006. They played 2 friendlies in New Zealand and were pretty competitive, I thought. New Zealand won. New Zealand ultimately, with their physique and technical skill, won. But Malaysia were very adventurous, and although they did, and certainly left a bit desired at the back. But look, I think you've got to credit them. So I think this will be an intriguing friendly. New Zealand is trying to move the All Whites. Darren Beasley, they're trying to move away from the sort of turgid football we've had in the past. You've got someone like Chris Wood, who is scoring a lot of goals for country. Although look, he's sort of starting to feature less. You've got more like your Elijah Just and certainly more of the A-League players coming, even starting to feature, and Ben Wayne as well. So so we shall see what happens. But look, that's the Malaysian team. That's the coach. That's a bit of background Malaysia ahead of this Malaysia-New Zealand game. What are your thoughts? Do you think Malaysia could get a result against New Zealand? Or will New Zealand just be too good as they look to wrap up this October international break? But look, if you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe.